Hey, Bridget Bartlett here, and today I am going to show you how you can use the new API settings to automatically create your accounts for all of your licenses inside of the Cloudkii portal. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Cloudkii, it is a licensing portal. This is where we manage all of the licenses for our software that we have in our program. If you'd like to join our program, you can go to bridgetbartlett.com to do that. We do have options for new and current high-level members to actually join for free. So inside, when you become a member, you get access to the license portal. How many licenses you receive depends on whatever plan you choose. So you'll see here, and of course, our system that we load into your high level account is automated based on tags. So I just want to make sure to drive home the fact that you do not have to do this. The people who want to do this type of a setup are people who have a more advanced use case, or they do not have high level and they want to send information about the account creation to another platform. Okay, so I just want to make sure that all of you know this is not something that you have to set up. Our system does all of this for you. However, if you did have a use case where you want to use this, this is how you would do it. Okay, so inside of the platform, what you want to do is go to API settings. Now you'll see here over on the left-hand side, you have add a license, change a license plan. So that would be like if you are wanting to change from ElmLink to ElmLink Basic to maybe ElmLink Legacy. And then you also can activate or deactivate a license. So that is not the same as deleting them. Just to be clear, when you activate or when you deactivate a license, it still holds that license and holds that account and keeps it as is. And then they have the ability to activate. So really, if you're canceling accounts, best practice would be to deactivate it for 30 days, give them a chance to reactivate, obviously send them emails and so on to encourage them to activate. And then if they do, they can reactivate their account, and then that will keep all of their data safe, okay? Now, of course, if you want to delete the account, then that will release the license that's being used for that account, and then you can use it again for someone else, okay? So that is the difference between these three options. You see, you can toggle through them, and you will see different setup options according to whatever you want to set up, okay? So you'll see here that we have add a license. We have the method is going to be post, and you'll understand that when we start working through the workflow here. And then we have our URL. You have your bearer token. Now, this is just a sample demo account that I'm doing, but just to be clear, you do want to make sure to keep this bearer token private. This is kind of like your social security card or even your credit card or something like that. This is the bearer token is the number that associates this license with your account. Okay, so if someone did have your bearer token, they could create accounts without your authorization. So that's why it's really important to keep that private. And it will be the same bearer token for all of the different options, okay? So you have your bearer token there. You have the request payload. This may look really confusing, but once we start building all of this out, you'll easily understand how to use all of that. And then we have all of the required information, okay? So these are called strings. They are the required information that we need to capture. So if you are using a checkout form or another type of a form, you definitely want to make sure to include the name, the business name, the email, phone number, and then of course we're going to add the app and then also the plan, all right? Now, of course, you don't need to have app or plan on the form, but you'll understand that again when we go to build out the workflow. And then if you are giving access to the Cloudkii CRM, then you need to ask this information here when you're collecting info, all right? Now, most of us are high-level agency owners, and so we don't need to give them access to the Cloudkii CRM, but just for the sake of knowledge, you do need to enter that info there. So if you are changing a license, of course, you want to choose the license that you want to change it to when you are building out your workflows. Now, you'll see if I switch, like you'll see over here, it says email. app ID 13, plan ID 4. If I switch this from basic to premium, you'll see that the only thing that changes there is that 4 changed to a 5. Okay, so that's important to know when you're building out all of your workflows. And then when we do the activate and deactivate, of course, you can toggle between activate and inactive. And you'll see here when you toggle between those, right now we're on active and it shows app ID 13 status active. And then if we change it to inactive, that's the only thing that changes is inactive. Okay. Now, you can actually do this inside of your high-level account, okay? All you need to do is build a workflow. So you're going to click on automations, create a new workflow, and you can make the trigger of your workflow. That's going to be, in this case, I'm using a tag, but it could be a checkout form. It could be another form. It could be, whatever you want to make this trigger here. If you click there, you can see we have lots and lots of triggers to choose from. Okay. Now, the first step is going to be a webhook. Now, in this case, we're going to use the high-level internal webhooks. So I'm going to click there. You'll see it is a custom webhook. If I click there, you'll see the options, but I actually have this built out just to show you how it all looks. So we have our custom webhook here that we're creating. We have the Cloudkii API license. This is the link. Okay, now you're going to capture that link here. All you need to do is, well, we're going to go to add license, because in this case, what we're going to do is create a free L Messenger account. Okay, so someone has triggered our workflow here. And in this case, it's a contact tag. So they've triggered the workflow, and then we're going to create this webhook here that we're going to send to the Cloudkii API system, and then it is going to send that email with the login credentials. Okay, so that's how all of that works. Now, you can use other systems. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute, but having all of this inside of your high-level account makes it great when you are, one, just for convenience use case, two, using the custom values inside of your workflow, but then also you can mark up these premium features for your users, and then you can actually, instead of them going someplace else to get their their webhooks, then they're actually doing this in-house. The main thing that I love about this setup and being able to use this is you can build this out in your snapshot, and then it makes the setup process so much more simple. So you're not having to get access to maybe their Zapier account or their Pably account or whatever it is they're using. They're not having to add a different subscription to their plan, and you don't have to get access and handle all of that stuff, right? Everything is being done here inside of their high-level account. Now, for the bearer token, this right here, what I did is actually create a custom value, and this would be great to set up new clients if you had a use case like this, because that bearer token is going to be the same for all of these processes. So you can just create a custom value and paste that in there, and then that way, if it ever did change, you just need to update the custom value, and then it will update all of your workflows with the new bearer token. Okay. So that's, I love that, being able to do that. Now, if I was using another, Pably or Zapier or something like that, I would not be able to do that. I would have to go into all of the workflows and then update that bearer token. So you can already see the convenience of having that built in here. Now here we add the query parameters. Okay, now you'll see all of these here. So this is basically what we're building out. We want to make sure that we're on the correct tool and on the correct plan that we want to build out. Okay, so now we're coming here and we're going to add all of those fields, and you'll see that it says all of the required fields here. And you'll see when it's building it out, the name, and you'll see quotation marks. Right now, if this is super overwhelming to you, remember, this is not a requirement in our program. We have this system simplified and automated where all you have to do is add tags. All of this is done on the back end, but this is for the advanced user who needs to have the ability to do this. Okay, so we have the required fields here, and you'll see if we toggle over We have name, business name. And what I've done here is I've actually just used the custom values. To add the custom value or even to add the field, all you have to do is click add. You'll type in what they have here. For example, this says name. So I'm just going to copy name. I like to copy and paste, but sometimes it doesn't capture that and then it takes longer. So what I would do is just simply add the name, right? And now what I want to do is I want to use a custom value here that is going to fill in the name. So all I have to do is click here, go to contact, and then of course I could just choose name just like I did up here. Okay, so that's already been entered, so I don't need to add that again. Now, as you enter all of these in and you're following the order and the instructions here, you'll see once you get to app name, they actually give you the value for this. So what you want to do is just copy Messenger Pro, and then you want to paste that there in the app name field. And you'll see the next field here is app ID, and then the value is 13. So we just want to come back here, app ID, value is 13. You want to go to the plan ID, and the value is 4. So we're going to go to add plan ID, and the value is 4. Okay. Now, the only thing that's different for the Messenger Premium plan is the plan ID is 5. Okay, everything else is going to stay the same, so that makes it really easy to duplicate your workflows and all of that. Now, you can see down here, we want to fill in the same values as what we've entered up here. Now, this, again, this may sound super confusing, but they actually give you kind of a template to use. You just want to make sure that if you are using a number, you don't need quotation marks around it for the value. If you are using words, you need quotation marks around it for the value. So you see these, the contact phone here is actually, it's a custom value, so we need the quotation marks. Email, we need quotation marks. So we have the field name here with quotation marks, and then we have the custom value. Okay, so are you following along with me? You guys let me know if I'm totally losing you in the chat. I'll try to explain better. But we have business name, and then of course, where the business name is, we are going to pre-fill that in with company name. Okay, so that's how all of this looks here. So we have quotation marks, then there's a colon, then there's quotation marks, and then the value that we're providing there. But you can also see down here, there are no quotation marks on the 13. There's no quotation marks on the 4. So you basically just want to stay in that, what's the word I'm looking for? Process, I guess, or stay in that flow or template maybe. You just want to be mindful of all of those things. Now, you'll see down here that we didn't add city, zip, or street address, and that's because that's this information down here that we don't need to capture because we're not giving access to the Cloudkii CRM. Okay, so we have all of the fields that we need here. We have our plan ID and all of that is ready to go. And then of course, all we would need to do to trigger this is add the contact, which is Messenger Pro Basic. Okay, so that is all internal inside of High Level. So you may be asking, well, why would anyone use Pably? You know, what are the benefits to Pably and Zapier and Make and all of those? Well, the benefits to that is you, the agency owner, it would probably be cheaper. And I say probably because you can see the price that High Level charges. Okay, now keep in mind too that we're not just talking about a webhook here. Okay, we're talking about keeping things internal, giving team members access to accounts, being able to duplicate systems and use custom values inside of High Level. Being able to create those snapshots and have all of the appropriate information inside of your workflows, all of that you have to compare to the value here when we talk about the price difference. All right. Now, this is actually really competitive. You know, there's always a premium for convenience. However, these premium triggers and actions cost the agency owner 0.01 cent per workflow action. Okay, so that means that if you have 1,000 leads, and let's do the math here. Let me pull up my little calendar. If you have 1,000 actions, okay, we have 1,000 times 0.01 cents, that's going to cost $10. Okay, so if you're someone who's like, I don't even think I would use 1,000, or maybe your client is like, I just need like maybe 10 a month or something like that. obviously this is an incredible value, and paying a subscription or even a lifetime plan of Pably would actually be much more expensive. So when you're looking at it like this, you, the agency owner, you're getting charged the 0.01 cents. Okay. Now your customer, though, because you can see here, I've marked up 3 times, my customer is getting charged 0.03 cents per workflow action. Okay, so we're going to multiply that by 3. So our customer per 1,000 actions would be getting charged $30. Okay. So you definitely want to be mindful of all of those things and then work that into your processes. But it's important to know the difference so that you can make the best decision for your business and your customers. Okay. Now let's talk about how you would set this up inside of Pably. So Pably, the same thing as Zapier or Make. It's going to be the base. Well, Make is much different, but it's going to be basically the same process for Zapier. So you're going to create a webhook here, and then of course we're going to create an API post request. Okay. Now, again, that may sound really confusing, but you can see that it looks very similar, right? We have the custom webhook here, and then we have post. All right. So inside of Pably, now we're going to add the link here that we added here. Okay. Now we also have the bearer token. Now you want to paste your bearer token here. I used inside of the account here, I used a custom value, but that's where you would paste that if you wanted to just paste it in. And then we have the set parameters. The set parameters are the same as the query parameters here. Okay, so same thing that we did before, except instead of custom values, what you need to do is run a test here and then capture the info. So however you are wanting to send the data to this webhook, you need to complete that action, whether it's complete a purchase or fill out a form or whatever it is on any platform that you want to send this data. You're going to go ahead and perform that test and of course connect the webhook to it so that it does capture that data. Now you're going to, if you're using this inside of High Level, all you need to do is copy that. And instead of choosing this action, you would just choose this action all the way down at the bottom that says webhook, and then you would just paste it in there. Okay. Now you don't need to do anything here because you would configure all of that inside of Pably. Okay, so everything that we are setting up here is what we did on that internal webhook inside of High Level. Okay, so you're creating your fields here, you're adding all of the labels, and then here, once you've run your test and it's pulled in that data, you're going to then use that data to map out here inside of your system. Okay, so you would just choose, like, go down here, choose whatever the data that you want to. Okay, so you're going to map that out. Full name here. I just chose full name as the business name because I didn't want to add that on my checkout form. So you have the option to do that. Or if you're asking for business name, you can map that out. You can also choose the email, of course, and the phone number. And then we have the app name. So we just type that in just like we did on this option here. So we just type it in. And then we have the app ID is 13, and then the plan ID is 4. And then, of course, we would save and send test requests to make sure that when we did that, we went back to our partner area and we looked up that email address and we made sure that an L Messenger basic account was created. Okay, so that's how you want to test that. Now, talking about the plans, you'll see Pably here is you get 100 tasks for free. And just so you know, I'm not an affiliate for Pably, Zapier, or Make. So I don't benefit from this. Whatever you choose is up to you. But I just want to pass on the info here so that you can make the best decision. So with Pably, you do have a lifetime plan. So, I mean, obviously that's great. You get 100 tasks every month for free. If you sign up for the monthly plan, you also get, 12,000 tasks, 24,000 tasks, for $29 a month and so on. Okay. With Zapier, you can see here you get 100 tasks for free. You get 750 tasks a month for $19.99, and then 2,000 tasks for $50, and so on. With Make, you get 1,000 operations. And again, you want to make sure when you're comparing these platforms to see which one is the best for you, that you are looking at what their criteria actually is, because operations is different than tasks and all of those things. So definitely look into that and make sure that you're choosing the best plan. We also have, if you look at monthly here, so you have the 10,000 operations for about $11, and then 10,000 for 18, and then so on. Okay, so these are great options. If you're looking for cheaper, you could definitely choose one of these here. If you're looking for convenience and the opportunity to actually increase your reoccurring income that you are earning from your clients, definitely encourage you to use the high-level custom webhook. If you are looking for something ease of use as far as duplication and your snapshots and all of that, definitely recommend the high-level custom webhook. Okay, so hopefully you have all the information that you need to both automate your licenses for your Cloudkii partner portal, as well as which webhook option that you want to use for your business. So thank you so much for joining me. If you are not a member of our program, you could go to bridgetbartlett.com to register, and I will see you all tomorrow, same time, same place. Go make your vision a reality. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us for today's training. If you have any questions, you can join us for open office hours starting right now at bridgetbartlett.com. It's free and open to everyone, so I'll see you there.